Good morning, Prudential Sales Associates. Joseph here. You know, one of the rules of real estate that we teach is that selling is not telling. Asking great questions is. Let me repeat that. One of the major rules of real estate is that selling is not telling, but asking great questions is. So I learned 7 points about asking questions that I wanted to share with you. The first is questions demand answers. Individuals feel obligated to answer you when you ask a question. So instead of telling somebody how great you are, why don't you ask a question to a prospective client? Because questions demand answers, and they're expecting to give you an answer when you ask a question. Point 2 says questions stimulate thinking. Now what's that mean? Well, when you ask a question, not only does the other party have to think of an answer, but you get to think also. It stimulates your thought process. Those being asked and those asking the questions start stimulating their thinking based on what you're asking them. So when you ask a question, you're actually stimulating thinking. Third, questions give us valuable information. Remember, we are in the business of helping people solve some type of problem, of meeting their needs, of meeting their wants. When we ask questions, we get answers to help us understand the other person's opinion of what they want and what they need. Fourth, questions put you in control. I wrote down here, because questions demand answers, the one asking the question has the power position. So when you're asking questions, you're controlling the conversation. And when you're controlling the conversation, you could get the answers that you need so that you could help the client. See, when you ask the questions, let's do this again. When you ask the questions, the client is telling you what their needs and wants are. And then you could solve those problems. But you'll never know unless you ask questions. Number 5, it says questions get people to open up. Questions get people to open up. People love to give their story. People want to tell you all about them. So when you ask questions about them, they're going to tell you about themselves. The more they tell you their story, the more you understand what they want and need. And when you understand what they want and need, you can provide exceptional service. So get them to open up. Get them to open up by asking questions. I wrote down questions lead to quality listening. Questions lead to quality listening. As you become more comfortable with asking questions, you have the opportunity to listen more carefully. Now, what does that mean? When you learn what questions to ask, and you're comfortable asking those questions, then you no longer have to worry about what question am I going to ask next. What you're focusing on is what the other person is saying. You have the opportunity to listen. This is why we ask you to memorize scripts. All the sales scripts that we teach you are all based on questions. And when you understand the questions and you know what question is going to come next, you don't have to worry about, oh, what am I going to ask next? What am I going to ask? No. You get the opportunity to ask the question, then sit back and listen. Finally, I wrote down, questions get people to persuade themselves. I said, people believe that they say not what you say. Let me repeat that. People believe what they say and not what you say. Remember, selling is not telling. Asking great questions is. When you're telling something to somebody, you have to hope that they believe you. But if you ask a question, they are telling you what their reality is, and they believe themselves over you. Okay? So when you ask a question and people answer, they persuade themselves into the sale. I hope that makes sense. So follow these 7 thoughts on questions. They're really good, and it really helps you understand the fact that selling truly is not telling. It's not how great you are. It's not how great the company is. It's all about asking great questions to get someone else to open up and sell themselves on why they should use you. I hope this helps. Have a great day.